What was the last major territorial purchase of the contiguous United States? On this day in history, December 30th, 1853, the US and Mexico signed the Gadsden Purchase in Mexico City, giving the United States an additional 30,000 square miles of land on the southern border. Settling the dispute over the border west of El Paso, the land acquired by the United States would eventually become what is now Arizona and New Mexico. As the railroad age evolved, Southerners saw that a railway linking them to the Pacific coast would expand trade and exploration opportunities. The topography of the southern portion of the original Mexican cession was too mountainous to allow a direct route. It projected railroads veered north as they went east, eventually linking to northern seaports. To avoid the mountains, a route would have to swing south through what was then still Mexican territory. Influenced by Secretary of War Jefferson Davis, President Franklin Pierce and his administration saw an opportunity to acquire land for the railroad, as well as acquire a significant portion of other territory from northern Mexico. Davis sent James Gadsden, the U.S. Minister to Mexico, to negotiate with the President of Mexico, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. Strapped with financial burden and still reeling from the loss of previous Mexican territory during the Mexican-American War, historians believe that Santa Anna may have calculated it was better to sell the territory to the United States rather than have taken by force. The U.S. agreed to pay $10 million for the land, which is equivalent to about $270 million today. The first draft was signed on December 30th, and that was all that was needed for the two countries to agree. A few months later, in April 1854, the U.S. Senate voted to ratify the agreement with amendments and then send it to President Pierce for his signature. Mexico finally approved the action a few months later, but on June 8, 1854, the Treaty of Messina went into effect, and the last substantial territorial acquisition in the contiguous United States officially defined the border between the United States and Mexico. When the new land became official, the considerable debate at the time was whether the territory would be free or allow slaves. For this case, the debate over slavery in the region ended up halting progress on a southern rail line until 20 years after the Civil War had ended. If you've learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. Your support would mean the world to me.